Hello everyone, myself Dr. Antarip. Today let's start with the remaining part of photosynthesis and gaseous actions of plants. And let's study. Now, from this paragraph, let's simplify the paragraph. Let's study first. Let us study how the plant obtains carbon dioxide. We had talked about stomata, which are tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves. Massive amount of gaseous exchange takes place in the leaves through these pores for the purpose of photosynthesis. But it is important to note here that exchange of gases occur across the surface of the stems, roots, leaves as well. Since the large amounts of water can also be lost through these stomata, the plant closes these pores when it does not need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. The opening and closing of the pore is a function of the guard cell. The guard cells swells when water flows into them and causing the stomatal pore to open. Similarly, the pore closes if the guard cell sinks. Now let's simplify and understand this. This picture you got in your class 9 biology. Am I right? Now let's see what they want to tell you. They talked about stomata. Stoma means pore. In any word, if you get this term stoma means a pore. Okay. Now these stomata are present on the surface of the leaves. Here a question might ask which surface? Relatively more on the lower surface. Now through this stomata, massive amount of gaseous exchange takes place for the purpose of photosynthesis. But this gaseous exchange occurs not only through the leaves but also the stem, the roots, all the structure. This gaseous exchange can occur. And since the large amounts of water can also be lost through this stomata, the plant closes these pores. And you got the function of this guard cells, stomata, etc. in your class 9 biology. Let's simplify this one as well. Let's say this is a stomata covered by a guard cell. Now, the inner surface of this cell is thicker. Okay, inner surface of the cell is thicker. And these cells, whenever gets water in them, the cell will swell up, right? When this cell swells up, you remember I have said this inner surface is thicker than this surface. So this is a thinner surface, so water will come and water will keep pressure in this way. So this will swell up. Got my point? The guard cell will swell up, and due to this pressure, the pore will open. You got my point? Let's say, let's do this again. This is a guard cell. Inner surface is thicker. When water enters, when water enters, the cell swells up. It will give pressure in this direction. So the stomata will open. Got my point? And when it loses water, it will shrink. Then the stomata will close. Simple? You got this point? Right. Okay. There is an activity for you in this activity 6.2. You will do it yourself. And let's study the next paragraph. Based on the activity, based on the activities above, we design experiment demonstrate sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. So far, we have talked about how autotrophs meet their energy requirements, but they also need other raw materials for building their body. Water is used in photosynthesis is taken up from the soil by the roots in terrestrial plants. As I have already mentioned this in my previous videos, the water is absorbed by the roots. Other materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium are taken up from the soil. Nitrogen is essential element used in the synthesis of proteins and other compounds. You have to remember this. Nitrogen is essential for the synthesis of protein and other compounds. And what are the other elements they talked about? Nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium. Nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and magnesium. These are taken up from the soil. Now let's go to the next page. Nitrogen, they're saying nitrogen taken up from the inorganic in the form of inorganic nitrates or nitrites, or it can be taken up as an organic compound which have been prepared by the bacteria from the atmospheric nitrogen. In your class 11, you will get various bacteria. Those are called nitrogen fixing bacteria. There are cyanobacteria. In your class 11, you will get this term. They can fix atmospheric nitrogen. Cyanobacteria can fix atmospheric nitrogen in the structure called heterocyst. So you will get this in your class 11. For the time being, you remember nitrogen is taken in the form of inorganic nitrate. Inorganic nitrate or nitrite. Why this is because? This is because the organic form or the gaseous form cannot be absorbed, so they take it in the inorganic nitrate or nitrite so that they get easily absorbed and plant can utilize them. Got my point? Easy? Next, coming to the heterotopic nutrition. As I have already told you, hetero means different. Heterotrophic nutrition. Hetero means different. Hetero means different. That means they are taking nutrition from different sources. Remember this, okay? This will help you. In any word, if you get hetero, that means different. And if you get homo, that means same. Remember these terms, it will help you a lot. The form of nutrition differs depending on the type and availability of food material as well as how it obtained by the organism. For example, whether the food source is stationary, such as grass, mobile, such as deer, would allow difference in how food is accessed and what is the nutritive apparatus used by a cow and lion. There is a range of strategies by which food is taken in and used by the organism. Some organisms break down the food material outside the body, then absorb it. For example, fungi like bread molds, yeast, mushroom, and others take in a whole material and break it down inside the body. Now, the techniques of taking food inside body are two types. One, outside the body, outside breakdown, and one is inside breakdown. Now, for outside breakdown, the examples they have given bread molds, these are nothing but fungi. Bread molds, yeast, and mushrooms. What they do, if this is a food material, they will grow here, okay, and they will release enzymes to digest this, and after that, they will take. Got my point? So, these are outside breakdown. For inside breakdown, the food is taken as a whole. And enzymes present inside the body will break down this food. Understand this? Easy? Okay. Next, move to the next part. Here up to this point, I guess. Some other organisms derive nutrition from plants, animals without killing them. This is parasitic nutritive strategy is used by a wide variety of organisms like Cascata, umberbell, ticks, lice, leeches, tapeworms. What they do, they do not kill the organisms. Instead, they sit on that organism and get nutrition from that organism. This is called parasitic nutritive strategy. The organism do not kill the original organism. Organism is not killed. Instead, they obtain nutrition from that organism. Easy, simple. You got this? Okay. From this section, I guess if any question comes, you can answer this. Now, how do organisms obtain their nutrition? Since the food and the way it is obtained differs, the digestive system is different in various organisms. In a single-celled organism. Now, let me remind you, single-cell organisms like amoeba. The food may be taken in by their entire surface, but as the complexity of the organism increases, different parts become specialized to perform different functions. For example, amoeba takes in food using temporary finger-like extension of the cell surface which fuse over the food particle forming a food vacuole. Inside the food vacuole, complex substances are broken down into simpler ones and which then diffuse into the cytoplasm. The remaining undigested material is moved to the surface of the cell and thrown out. Now see, this is the amoeba and suppose this is a food particle. What this amoeba will do now, this amoeba will form finger-like extensions. You have heard pseudopodia, I guess. These extensions will finally take up the food particle, and after taking up the food particle, they will form a food vacuole. This is the food particle. After this, after it takes this food particle, they will form a food vacuole inside, and this food particle is digested. After digesting, it will get absorbed in the cytoplasm, and the waste materials will go near the surface and it will be thrown out. Is it easy? You got this, I guess. Now, in Paramecium, which is also a unicellular organism, the cell has a definite shape and food is taken in a specific spot. Food moved to this spot by the movement of cilia, which cover the entire surface of the cell. Now, coming to the Paramecium. Paramecium entire surface is covered with these tiny cilia. These cilia can move, and the food material is goes in the direction which they move. And finally, when this spot is in this spot, the food material will get absorbed. It is a definite spot in the body of Paramecium. Okay, you got this, I guess. These paragraphs have been simplified. I guess there is no problem, and you can write whenever it comes in your examination. Now, nutrition in human beings. The alimentary canal is basically a long tube extending from the mouth or to the anus. Alimentary canal extends from the mouth to the anus. We can see that the tube has different parts, various regions are specialized to perform different functions. Okay, coming to the next page. Uh, we'll discuss this alimentary canal and human digestive system in our next video. Thank you everyone. Hope you liked the video. Please like, share and subscribe.